me from Surroundings. I have with me Hamlet, Master Cigar Roller, and Rob, our rep from Rocky Patel. We just finished out our event from Hamlet.
Killer event.
Killer event, yes. And so we thought we'd stop in and review kind of everything that went on. And learn a little bit more about Hamlet.
I'm not aware of any.
So Hamlet, this is the first time you've been in northern Michigan.
Yeah, first time. Yeah.
You've been in Detroit.
Trying to do that.
But this is the first time you've been this north. How's your experience?
I was telling him, it's the first time I feel like this welcome, big welcome about people, and how good the people is up here.
And you're right.
It just made me feel warm.
After that
that's
so good,
very cold weather.
We've been so way to warm you up from that cold brief. Yeah, we've been so excited to have you here. You had some experience with some deer, I heard.
We only were missing like a giraffe, lion, and
elephants. You know.
So all the animals here in northern Michigan. So how long have you been rolling cigars for?
So I've been doing this for my last 26 years.
26 years, holy moly. And you started in Cuba, and you're from Cuba, you've lived there for 40 years, right? And you traditionally roll in the Cuban way, correct? Yes, without a press and everything. Is there anything you want to talk about with that, or is there...
As I was, telling people here and just doing the event.
Wow, really?
This is a very old traditional way. Like we call it freehand.
Okay.
It's really difficult. It took me like 12 years to figure it out how to do every size by hand without molds and press. I mean, the beauty about doing this kind of events is just like getting to like one-on-one with people. So they get to know what's going on with the tobacco and how do we blend, how do we make the cigars, and just share the experience, and that's all about it,
Well, it's just like the cigar culture period.
Yeah.
I mean that's the beauty of this industry that we are a part of. And of course with Hamlet, being in the U.S. for just 4 years now. I mean, it's great for him to be able to share his experiences, of course growing up in Cuba, traveling all over the world, showing his craft, and something obviously he takes great pride in, and is amazing at what he does. So he loves to be able to share that with people, but he also enjoys when people get to share their experiences in the cigar industry with him as well.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things why I push hard to get Hamlet to be able to come up here and, as he was saying, get that warmth of the northern Michigan people.
it's amazing.
I knew the kind of person Hamlet is. He would enjoy it so greatly, and I wanted to be able to share that with him, as I've learned in just the past 14 months of running this territory myself, that I've enjoyed. I wanted him to experience that as well.
And now you blend. You have 3 cigars out with Rocky Patel currently that we have sold. And how did you come about with blending these cigars? Now, what one was the first one that you blended?
So the first one was this one.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm smoking right now.
The
actually,
first time I made a non-Cuban cigar in my life. It took me 6.5 months. I did 187 blends.
Wow! Before you
make
came up
this.
with that
Yes.
one. Holy moly!
And it was a big surprise that after 6.5 months and 187 blends, the blend that we chose was the first one.
Nice. Out of all 187, it was the first
So it's
one.
Nicaraguan fillers, Mexican and Brazilian binder, and Mexican Sanibros wrapper. So the second one was this one.
The 25th. Okay.
Yeah, the 25th is my favorite one. I have to say that. It's just like a combination of Honduran and Nicaraguan tobacco.
Okay.
The binder is Pennsylvania raw leaf and the wrapper is Habano Pretoria. And then this year we just released this Liberation by Hamlet. I forgot to say that the 25th year means like last year I was 25 years in the business. That's what that means. And the liberation is just like a little bit more than this. So this one is medium, medium plus. So I have everything now. So.
Now, when blending cigars, I never really get to interview a cigar blender of all sorts. What does it take for you to sit and blend and try all these different tobaccos? Like, when you're blending, what's going through your mind? I guess
So first of all, you need to know what are you working with.
Okay.
So what we do is we take every single leaf, every single region, like mild, medium, full body fillers, and we smoke them by themselves.
Okay.
And then we take notes. So that would take you like months and a half, 2 months
Trying
to
to
go through everything. And then you don't know what's going to happen when you put them together. So it's countless combinations.
So it's just try and error.
Just try it and try it and try it and try it and try it until you get that flavor
that you're looking for.
profile that you're looking for, and you got it. Sometimes you get it in like 6 months, sometimes you never get it, sometimes you get it in like 3 months or 2 months. Or,
Sometimes it takes 187 different blends.
yes.
To get the
Sometimes
one.
it
Yeah,
just
it's
takes the first one.
Yeah.
It was so funny because when I did this the first time, I was with Rocky Patel, me and him. I did the first one, I give one to him, I made another one for me. We got it lit, and we were like, wow. And then he was like, this is good. I'm like, yeah, it's good. And then we put it down, said, let's do another one. So I did the next one, we tried, and we were like, the number one is better. And we kept going doing that for like 6.5 months. Always saying like, yeah, it's really, really good, but the number one is that one. So what I did was, after 187 blends, I took the 10 best blends, and I was the only one that knew who was who. So I did like A, B, C, D, E, F, D, whatever.
Yeah, all the way through.
And it was so funny. I took 13 people. We did a blind tasting, and 11 of us, we chose the number one blend. And I'm like, that's what.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Was it the same for the other two that you came out with
No,
then? Or?
it was a little bit easier for this one.
Okay.
So it took me just like 84 blends for this one.
Just
And
84.
this one was the number 7. I knew it. I just knew it. So normally when I blend cigars, I not do more than 3 cigars a day.
Okay.
That's it. And I knew it.
Why is that?
Because you ruin your palate
Of
Okay.
course, of course.
after 3 cigars.
Yeah.
That's
They
my
all
own
taste the
belief.
same. No, I agree
I don't.
with you.
I'm not disagree with whoever made 20 blends in one
Right.
day. Good for them. I'm not as good as that.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. Because what I do is I made these 3 cigars, different blends, and then I have to smoke the whole cigar. Because you need to know how this cigar is going to develop, how it's going to go through. So the worst things that happen to me is when I get somebody that just cut and lit a cigar, they just turn to me and be like, this is the best cigar I have in my life. And I'm like, wow.
You know already.
You need to let the cigar go. And then I played that joke, but I was teacher at that. My teacher, the one that teach me how to make cigars, like you never open your mouth and talk about a cigar after you smoke half the time. And then you know what's going on. And I'm like, okay. So, and I believe very strongly about that. So, but in this case, as soon as I put that in my mouth and I lit it, I was like, I got it. I knew it. I just got that
So-
first
so-
puff, but I wasn't sure.
Right.
So I put that down, and I'm like, I'm done for the day. Actually, that day I just blend 2 cigars. That was the number 2. And I was like, let me go for it. Let me try both of them. And I knew it. And
That's how
I don't know why I did another 79 more. I just did it. Like, I knew it was number 7. That was mine.
Yeah.
That was the one. And that was the one.
Without smoking it halfway through.
And I smoked the whole thing.
Oh, really?
So what I did was I remade this again the next day, and I kept blending. Like every day, I was doing one of these, and I was like, yeah, I was
What were you smoking
this is the
then?
one.
Yeah.
And I kept just going and going and going, and just keep doing this one every day.
I bought one,
So-
and I'm just waiting.
This one was number 5. This baby here.
And how many did it take for you to blend outside of it? Was it just 5, or was it just number 5 out of how many?
I did around like 30 something,
Okay,
but I knew it.
and that was.
I
the
knew I
one?
got it. I knew I wanted this. I knew that I want something like this. So I was missing this board here. So I have this one medium full. Now I'm making this one solid medium, rich in flavor, sweet, really enjoyable. And I'm like, I gotta make something in between these 2. And I got it. I just got it.
That was the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I get a lot of questions about sizes and flavors. So does the size of the cigar affect the flavor?
Yes.
Okay, so you have this one here, and I know we have 4 different sizes with this, and I smoked a Corona earlier, and I was smoking a larger size. How much does that affect the flavor of a cigar?
So normally here, when you get a cigar that is really big in gauge, it's gonna go very smooth and mild.
Okay.
So you got like a skinny cigar, it's gonna be full.
Okay. Okay. So this is gonna be milder than the Corona I smoked earlier.
It is.
Okay.
But that's not how it's done in Cuba, though, right? It's very different.
It's the opposite.
Because in the American market, you know, the rule of thumb that we have here is obviously the lighter the shade of the wrapper, the lighter the cigar, you know, the darker, the more, you know, strength it
Yeah, but
has.
also about the sizes. Like here in America, when you get a bigger ring gauge, it's a mild cigar. In Cuba, it's in the other way around.
Oh, so the bigger gauges are
So
the
the
more
bigger
full
gauges
body.
are stronger,
Okay.
smaller are lighter. So it took me like almost 2 months to figure it out.
Why is it different in Cuba than it is here because of that? What makes it stronger of a cigar and bigger ring gauge in Cuba than it does in America?
It's the way the blend is done.
Blend is done.
So
Okay.
they just thought, because of the larger gauge, they put more Ligero in it.
Okay.
In Cuba.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So why is it then in the U.S. that with a smaller gauge they're actually stronger? Is it because
It's the way it is, the way they made it. I wasn't the one that made that.
And okay, so we have a lot of questions about Cuban cigars, and you're from Cuba, and you've been rolling in Cuba for a lot of years. What's the difference? Do you have? I mean, you rolled up in here, you know, but what's the difference from Cuba and here? Is there?
as in like blends wise?
Yeah.
So the
yeah.
main difference is just like, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are making cigars. These are the main reasons.
Okay.
That's what made the difference.
The
The
tobacco. Okay.
So in Cuba, because you're typically only blending Cuban tobaccos,
Yes.
so that does that limit you with the obviously the different offerings and flavor profiles that you can
No, it
create?
doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
No.
Why is that? I mean, how is that done then? I mean, is it just by the aging and the curing processes? I mean,
No, it's just like, as wine, it depends on the country, regions, the land,
Okay.
the weather, everything just affects
okay, of course.
the farm.
Right.
So
Right.
Cuban tobacco is totally different than Dominican tobacco, Nicaraguan tobacco,
Okay.
Brazilian tobacco, Mexican
The
tobacco.
soil and the environment.
so far I can tell you that right now, after I came here to the US, it's been like I was born again in the industry. Like I just beginning to learn about all this tobacco from all over the world.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. Like of course I wasn't thinking that after 23 years making cigars, I was coming back to zero
Yeah.
and start again.
Well, it's
Everything
kind of
all over.
the kid in the candy shop kind of
Yes.
syndrome.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
now
like-
you have all these
Yes.
different.
Like if you
offerings.
were telling me like 5 years ago that I was making a cigar with 5 different companies, tobacco on it, I
You're
was
super
like,
crazy.
you're crazy. I'm never gonna do that, and I did it.
And you did it, and it
So-
tastes wonderful. Yeah.
And, but I mean, every tobacco is different. So I'm in love with Nicaraguan tobacco, deeply in love. So I love Cuban cigars, but I believe that honestly, I
It's okay to
in
say it.
love with Nicaragua. So I don't know. I just got that kick, that
Yeah.
that power, that
Right.
I need that now. So and that's the truth, you know. Like I love Cuban cigars, but I'm in love with Nicaragua. So.
Perfect.
And I wish someday, I know I will do it, I would be able to blend a cigar with Cuban and Nicaraguan tobacco. And that would
Amazing.
be
Great blend. Yeah.
perfect.
Well, I think that's one of the desires for most of us in the cigar industry. Because obviously there's always a conversation of the embargo being lifted, selling cigar, Cubans in America and all that. And sure, I mean that would do a lot of great things for the industry. But I think for all of us who know the industry a little bit deeper and aren't just looking for that forbidden fruit, the idea of, I mean, obviously we have so many wonderful tobaccos at our disposal that we can, blend great cigars with. To be able to add one more layer to
Yeah.
that, all the new stuff that we can create.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, there's a lot of great manufacturers out there. You go into the humidor and all the different blends that are available to all of us. It's amazing, but we've already done all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, of course, everybody's coming out with this little nuance.
No,
Or that
but there's so
little
many
nuance.
things that you can do, like it's, when you have a seed in front of tobacco leaves, there's countless combinations that you can do.
Yeah.
There's always something that's gonna
Right.
come
Exactly.
out.
So then
It's different.
to be able to add that new layer to all of it, it's a whole new ballgame with Cuban tobacco. So that would be amazing for all of
Yeah,
us. I
totally.
think
will be.
Yeah.
that hopefully one day that does become a possibility.
And now we have, what is this here? This is your cigar. I see 3 of them put together.
Culebra.
Culebra. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Culebra is a very old cigar. I mean, there are 3 cigars. So that was in the Pateras factory long time ago. So the owner of the factory was walking around and saw that everybody was allowed to smoke as many cigars as they wanted. So, and he was like, wow, these guys are killing me, smoking all my cigars every day. So he talked to the roller
Smoking more money.
and said, we need to stop this, I need to see what they're smoking. So this guy came out with this. So he created that Culebra, that 3 cigars, so when you unwrap them, you're smoking a cigar like this. So he was able to see who was smoking the cigar that he let them smoke.
Wow.
And whoever was smoking a cigar like this, straight, he got in trouble because he was stealing from the factory. So that was the beginning of that. So what I did there was I changed a little bit that, and I made like a torpedo, skinny, longer cigar, which is not the original one, but I just made the Hamlet version of that. So, and this one particularly is like, it's called the Trinity because these 3 cigars are here. So every one of them is one of these.
And you smoke that separately then?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Now for rolling methods, I heard that only like the top master rollers can do a torpedo type roll. Is that true, or what's the story behind different rolling methods, like the torpedo, figurado, all the different shapes that you can do?
My
Yes.
favorite Lancero.
So the torpedo actually is you gotta be at the highest level
Okay.
as a roller, and then you can apply for the torpedo course.
Oh, so okay,
You gotta be here first.
yeah.
Okay.
And then when you're
So
here,
it's the graduation process.
then you can ask for a torpedo course.
So you do have to be kind of a really good roller.
Yes,
to-
before you go for it. But what is happening in the factory is like, if you go for it and you decide that you want to be a torpedo maker, that would be your whole life.
Really? So you
You're never
only
gonna
smoke.
get out of them. You're only gonna make torpedoes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's basically what
It-
happened.
Is it the scenario though that if you go into making torpedoes, I mean, do you make more money?
I mean, torpedo makers, they can do a lot of torpedoes.
Yeah.
So when you know how to do it, it's one of the easiest
Yeah.
cigars. Of course, you hear.
Yeah.
So when you hear, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And torpedo becomes like very easy to be made.
Okay.
Okay.
And they just fly. They
Yeah.
fly.
Okay.
So normally a torpedo maker in Cuba, the quota is 110 cigars. Easily they can do 150, 200 cigars
Okay.
every day. And that's a big difference between the Cuban cigar rollers and the non-Cuban cigar rollers. So Cuban cigar rollers, they do everything from the beginning to the end. They bunch the cigar and they put the wrapper on it. So average is like 110, 120 cigars a day in the big sizes and more difficult sizes. The smaller sizes, 145, 155. In Dominican, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, they work by pairs. So there's two people working. So one person does the inside, the other person does the outside. So this couple can do 450 cigars a day.
Wow.
Because the only thing you're doing is the inside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the other person is just doing the outside. So you just create a very high speed doing
Yeah.
that.
No kidding.
When you have to deal with everything, you slow down. Because you gotta take your time, to make the inside and then turn to the outside, And most of the people, they are very fast doing the wrapper seal. But some people are really fast doing the fillers. But you have to learn how to do everything. It doesn't happen in the non-Cuban cigar factories. They do work by pairs.
Okay.
So one person do the inside, the other guy do the outside. And that just make, myself being now in the other side of the industry, the non-Cuban industry, it's so good for me because at the end of the day, you have 100 rollers, but only 50 of them are blending. The other 50 are just dressing the cigar. So that's really good because you concentrate the consistency and the
course.
quality in half of them. So in the Cuban side, you have 300 rollers blending. So there's 300 people blending instead of 150.
Of course.
So it's so much easier to keep the quality, the consistency in half of them, not everybody. So
Yeah.
I do love that.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like to add about being a roller, about the event, or anything that struck you about Michigan or being up here?
So I love you guys, the best people that I've met. I don't like the weather. I want to put that over there. I don't care.
You want it to be warm here, right?
I don't care if I have the
Cuban
good clothes
blood.
or whatever.
Bring you back in the summer.
So bad here. But people is so warm that I'm fine here. I can go back here anytime. I love it.
Awesome. We would love to have you back. Well, thank you
Absolutely.
so much for being here, Hamlet. We really appreciate you coming to our store. Thank you, Rob, for bringing them.
Of course, of course. I was greatly looking forward to the opportunity because I knew he would enjoy it up here as much as I have, like I said earlier. So it's been a pleasure. And of course, as always, thank you for everything that you do here and for us as well. So
Of course,
it's an
yeah.
amazing time tonight, and I'm glad to be able to show my friend, the things that I love. So,
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you guys. And you guys all have a great night. Thank you.
Piece of time.